Live from Rialto, California, Mark and Andre present the pay-per-review podcast, Wrestlemania 32, reaction and analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your hosts, Mark and Andre. Welcome. I want to welcome you guys to a special, very special pay-per-review podcast. Here with me is my special guest. You may know him from this one podcast that I've heard about along the way. It's called the Mark and Andre Show. I heard it's pretty cool. Andre Gaynor.
Hey, what's up?
Thank you for coming along. I appreciate it. First of all, we're here to talk about the event that happened, the Showcase of the Immortals, the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. We're here to do reactions and analysis, and the first thing I can say straight off of the top is inadequate. Disappointed.
Right off the bat, disappointed, lackluster, dumbed down.
I did get my 3 surprises, though.
Well, what are your 3 surprises? What do you mean?
My 3 surprises, and like I said, whoever hasn't seen WrestleMania 32 yet will get exposed to spoilers. I'm not going to give you any buffer room, so...
You should have saw it by now.
You should have saw that. To be honest, you should have saw it already. To the people that honestly don't have the WWE Network and claim themselves to be wrestling fans, it's honestly like, what the hell are you waiting for? It's $9 a month.
It's another Netflix account.
If you cannot afford $9 a month and, you know, you're going to, like, berate me for spoilers, you better go read a paper or something. I don't know what to tell you. But I hear you were a little dissatisfied with this event.
Well, I mean, for everyone presently listening, I'm not a big wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. I've been engaged in wrestling back in the 90s. During, you know, what I felt like was a prime of wrestling. And then I kind of ducked out. I wasn't involved anymore. And then I come back just to check it out with my buddy Mark. And I managed to, you know, learn enough about the lore to understand what was happening now.
Yeah.
And we checked out last year's WrestleMania. So if I didn't see last year's WrestleMania, this year would have been interesting to me because I've seen nothing before that.
Yeah.
But seeing this last year's WrestleMania, I was amazed by what I was witnessing. And then I guess, you know, coming to what we saw today, I was highly disappointed.
Yeah.
Shit was whack.
Because the spectacle that you saw last year and that I saw last year was literally exactly what we can expect from a program that actually has the roster up to at least 90%.
Right.
This roster was extremely diminished.
Mm-hmm. I heard about all the injuries and everything like that.
Yeah. So let me go into it right now because I know you've joined me at a later time. You actually joined me during the AJ Styles Chris Jericho match. So let me just go into I'm not even going to go into the pre-show stuff because that pre-show isn't really technically part of WrestleMania. So I'm going to go right into the actual match card from WrestleMania from 4 p.m. on to what? It was like 8:30?
Yeah, it was like 8 hours.
It's crazy.
8 or 9 hour WrestleMania. It's the longest WrestleMania I know that's been recorded.
So let me stop shuffling my papers. I hate doing this during airtime, but... Okay, so the Intercontinental Ladder match... you had Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Zack Ryder, you had The Miz, you had Stardust, and you also had Sin Cara as well. And if I'm missing any other wrestlers, then to be honest, they weren't even mentionable at this point. From what I can tell you from the actual from the jump of this program is that the stage design was actually laid out pretty well. Mm-hmm. I can honestly tell you that this was actually one of the more attractive WrestleMania stage designs to date. It seems that every year they actually keep upping the ante for this because last year was pretty impressive because that stage, remember they actually spelled out WrestleMania?
Yeah, they did.
The whole thing.
It was pretty phenomenal. I mean, and then this year they just followed through with an even grander presentation. I thought it was really good. I mean, the presentation was a high note for myself, but I mean, in regards to the match that you saw.
I saw 2 huge spots from Sami Zayn, the NXT hopeful that actually isn't actually 100% called up from NXT to WWE's main roster. You can actually tell that they brought up a couple NXT superstars from the main roster here just to fulfill the roster that isn't being filled now due to injuries. This was an awesome match from what I saw. You hear the crowd is totally involved in it. There was a Dusty Rhodes tribute. As you know, Dusty Rhodes did pass away last year. Stardust, which is Cody Rhodes, which is the son of Dusty Rhodes, actually brought out a polka dot ladder. This polka dot ladder was actually a tribute to how Dusty Rhodes dressed up during his tenure in the WWE. He'd actually dressed up in polka dots.
Oh, that's actually really sweet.
It actually looked pretty cool. Kevin Owens actually had a couple good spots with Sami Zayn. A lot of that stuff looked pretty dangerous. There was one suplex that Sami Zayn did that actually had Kevin Owens land on top of a ladder. And to be honest, the refs knew it kind of looked bad just because they actually checked him as soon as that suplex happened. And he sold it pretty well. If a referee checks you immediately after the spot's done, then you know that you actually done a good spot, because now they have to check you to see if you actually
looked that genuine.
If you sell it that well.
Yeah.
Out of all the people to win it, it is this mid-carder Zack Ryder, who was rumored, everyone had this speculation that they actually put him on Instagram saying, will he have a chance to win that Intercontinental title? And you kind of blew it away thinking it was actually going to be someone else. So the Miz goes up to actually try to retain the title. He actually goes up and seats himself at the top.
Oh, God. Zack
Ryder rushes up and pushes him off, and Zack Ryder actually gets it. He gets a huge pop from the crowd. You hear the pop. This is 100,000 attendance, 100,000 plus attendance crowd. So you are going to hear pops when it is granted, and you're going to hear the boos when it is granted, and we'll go into that a little later. But everyone went nuts for Zack Ryder,
right?
Which is good, because to be honest, he's a little overdue for another good time, because he's paid his dues. He's actually was doing NXT for a little bit with the tag team. I think it was a short-lived tag team, because I don't think he's going to be coming back now, because he actually won the Intercontinental title. So that was my first surprise. I remember I was discussing you during the podcast that I need 3 surprises.
And this was my first. Can you go over your 3 surprise theory, I guess?
I'll do it as it goes on. That way the crowd actually stays into this one. So now we go into this next match. We actually saw these two kind of hype this match up to their the Fastlane pay-per-view. We had AJ Styles versus Y2J. This match, I'd say the one at Fastlane was a little bit better than this one. This match had a few not botches, but a few misfires. The momentum of the event was brought to a halt just because you had this big spectacular ladder match, but now you're brought to a singles match. My personal opinion is that this match, the Intercontinental ladder match, should have been held a little more into the middle of the card versus being the opener, because now everyone has to match up to the ante of a ladder match.
Right.
Now you have a singles match between two superstars in their late 30s.
And I'm not well versed in wrestling. I'll say I'm an outsider, so I'm giving an outsider's perspective.
And your perspective is just the outsider looking in.
Right. So from the outside looking in, this match was very boring. It was very it was very sloppy, rather. Boring might not be the word, sloppy is. Sloppy is the word, because there were so many moments, I guess, where you say spots or whatever. There were moments that they just were missing their hits, or it was very obvious. Okay, he was supposed to go for a certain kind of slam, and he didn't complete that slam, so they had to figure out something to complete the slam.
And you could see, I remember which one you're talking about. They're near the ropes, and then AJ Styles had to actually go for the roll-up pin. Right. And they were both laid back on their back, and they were like, "Oh, okay, hold on, let's finish this. Let's finish this spot for the pin." I saw that, and then the move I was going to tell you about is where AJ Styles actually goes off of the ropes.
He does it like a full front flip.
Yeah, and he actually spins it into a reverse DDT. That move, like I said, he actually stood full up and then did it.
Yeah.
Because Chris Jericho was actually too close to the ropes to perform it.
Oh, see. And there were a lot of moments where I was like, okay, that was actually really impressive. That was cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to save the match.
Yeah.
Like, the match was so slow.
Yeah.
It was a very sluggish pace, and it just wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't engaging enough. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
And then to the end result, after this whole sloppy match, it just has to be said.
So much slop.
Yeah.
Slop.
Chris Jericho ends up going with the win.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were expecting AJ Styles to win because this is his first WrestleMania. Let's give him let's do what what WWE is trying to portray is that let's have Chris Jericho put over the talent like he does every year at every WrestleMania that he needs to do. The aging veteran that puts over the stars. But no. I thought Chris Jericho ends up winning at WrestleMania instead of actually putting over AJ Styles.
Like a greedy prostitute. And I don't know. I was expecting AJ to... I don't know. Like I said, I'm on the outside looking in, but I'm like, I remember Jericho. Man, he's old as fuck. I'm pretty sure this older fellow is going to bring in this new guy that's been bringing up this buzz.
Yeah.
And he fucking beats him.
Shows up.
Like, okay, well, what was the point of him being here?
Out. We have 3 pay-per-views.
It was his first. It was his first WrestleMania. His first
WrestleMania. But now, we may actually made an illusion that this is probably the largest crowd he's ever performed at.
Right.
Because he's probably used to doing the Hollywood, Florida thing. Because remember, they do the TNA tapings in Hollywood, in Orlando, Florida. Right. And this guy actually did it in front of 100,000 seat capacity.
So he's probably freaking out.
I don't know. It was just
too many people looking.
These guys wrestled like 3 matches beforehand,
right?
And now they can't do it during the biggest stage of them all. Mm-hmm. Lack of practice. I don't know. I'm not one to say because, like I said, I'm a wrestling fan first. I'm not a wrestling guru myself. There's still a few moves that I don't know all myself. Mm-hmm. So. From what I saw and what I've observed, I know for a fact that this match was rather sloppy.
It was sloppy and it was disappointing. Mm-hmm. I guess for my nostalgia's sake, I'm like, I recognize Chris Jericho. So this is going to be a really good match. I'm not very familiar with AJ Styles. AJ Styles, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not very familiar with AJ Styles, but I think this should be an interesting matchup. Yeah. I mean, you've got this young cat going up against, a veteran. Let's get a good fight going. And it was just sloppy. So many missed opportunities, and I saw them. And it slowed down the pace of everything. I mean, I missed the original ladder match, but coming in, I'm like, this is a very slow start to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that shit was, I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. This is one that needs to be...
I was getting sleepy.
This not need to be mentioned just because it was just... You had AJ Styles actually doing the Styles Clash, which a lot of people were under the assumption that the Styles Clash was banned because it actually involves a lot of head contact. Mm-hmm. But he actually was able to do it. Anyway, let's go on to the next match on the docket. We had the New Day versus the League of Nations. The New Day promised, and it was a lot of mumblings underneath the wrestling mill, that the New Day was actually going to do a big entrance.
Yeah. And
they did. I went nuts. You went nuts. It was cool. But we all have, we all have our disputes about that, as we talked about earlier. But so they have a big Booty-O's cereal box.
Oh God!
That shows up in the ring. I'm not in the ring, but in the entrance, in the entranceway. Mm-hmm. The Booty-O's box spills out a bunch of like Cheerios looking things. It wasn't even massive. I didn't know Booty-O's actually looked like Cheerios. I give them props because the texture actually looked like whole grain.
Like they actually went all the way through with it. Like they actually had cereal come out of the box.
Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E actually come out in Dragon Ball Z saying regalia. Saying attire. Yeah. Sorry, regalia. No, saying attire.
And
the crowd went crazy.
Huge pop. That was ridiculous. Because he was explaining to me, Mark was explaining to me, like, they're gonna come. They have plans to come out like super crazy, and I'm like, what do you mean? Because I saw them live before, and they come out their usual way, just acting silly. Yeah. And then we see this massive box of booty-O's, booty holes,
booty holes.
We get a massive box of booty holes and booty-O's,
booty holes,
and then they come out in these outfits, which I was not anticipating at all. was ridiculous. I thought it was hilarious. So, they came out, they got a good laugh. They had the unicorn, headbands or whatever.
Those unicorn horns are super suggestive. To actually buy one and to actually wear one is to be a very bold person.
They're pretty brave to kind of take on the roles that they have. So they come on, and I thought it was a very, very, very elegant entrance.
Yeah, they actually cut a really good promo prior to entering the ring, letting them know that they're actually the WWE champs. And then the League of Nations come out. And then you could totally see the energy and not even the positivity, but the total, good momentum being sucked out of the arena. Because you have 4 heels that are unaccomplished as far as... 3 heels that are unaccomplished because Alberto Del Rio did win the U.S. Championship coming back. Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and Rusev.
But they just came in so lifelessly.
Very much so.
They just appeared.
And it's
We're
funny,
here! Woo!
And it's funny because no one gave them a mic because they know they can't cut a promo.
Right.
Wade Barrett can barely cut a promo adequately. When he was doing the Bad News Barrett promos before you were actually getting involved in watching wrestling, even... before I was doing it religiously, he was actually getting over as Bad News Bear, where he actually would tell you that he has bad news to say. But that's when he was injured.
Yeah.
Wrestlers are more productive when they cut promos and they're actually active on the roster. Okay. But anyway, so this match, good tag sequences from both teams. I give them that.
Solid match.
You have the expected Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Big E rotating kicks with tags. There was a lot of good mix-ins.
Stomping the shit out of Sheamus.
And there was actually a lot of good tag-ins. And like I said, the momentum went both ways very much so during the whole match. And then you had the big spot from Big E where I believe it was Rusev and Sheamus that were on top in the middle of the ring. I mean, on the outside of the ring ropes. And then Big E spears him. He does that spot again where he spears him on the outside.
Spears them both. And I feel like he injured himself in that process.
Yeah, we saw a bad bump from Big E on that one.
Yeah, because he went fucking face down. Face first into the floor.
Anytime you do a dive like that, you put your career at risk every time. And we'll go into that because remember, we saw another bad spot from somebody a little later.
Yeah.
The whole match was excellent. Okay.
Oh, it was a great match. Fast paced. It completely shifted the pace from what we were seeing from the earlier match. The pace switched up gradually. It was amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of intensity. What was not Kofi Kingston, the other fellow getting his ass beat for half the match.
That was Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods took a nice beating.
Yes, he did.
From the League of Nations. They all had a good turn on him.
Yeah. And it's funny too because Alberto Del Rio and Kofi Kingston actually have that spot on the outside of the ring where Kofi Kingston kind of didn't want to get stomped out, but he was like, "Get ready!"
Get ready. I'm about to stomp you.
Props to Kofi for doing that, and Alberto Del Rio has always been a little rough around the ring, especially with calling spots and stuff. There's no language barrier. He speaks very well, very good English. But it's the fact of the matter that he calls this spot really fast, and you saw it. You saw where he actually he motioned for him to stay down while he did it,
and then he completed it, and that's what led me to believe that Big E got injured.
Yeah,
because I don't feel like they got to finish the match the way they wanted to. Because initially, you see him, he does the spear, everybody goes down, and nobody's moving.
Exactly.
And the refs are all on it, and nobody's making moves. And then they started,
it might have been a distraction to clear out just to clear out the other tag teams, but who knows? Because it did look like a bad bump from Big E. But the end result...
Sheamus uses his bright skin to blind the remainder of New Day.
He uses his pale skinny clips. He broke kicks.
His solar flare.
Who did he broke kick? He broke kicked Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting the pin. So the League of Nations are actually the tag team champions.
They are.
So a rotation of 4 heels are actually going to share 2 belts.
Yeah.
Versus now what the New Day did was actually 3 people sharing the belt.
Yeah.
Switching from here and there, doing the promos here and there.
And then suddenly,
at the end of this match, all you hear. First and foremost, is Wade Barrett cut a promo saying, "We're the toughest, roughest, mates." Doing his typical shtick. And then all of a sudden you hear Shawn Michaels' music come out. We'll cut on. And
highly unexpected.
And basically what Wade Barrett ended up saying is like, we're the 3 best to ever do this and this and that.
No, there is no group of 3 people that could take us down. Like, so specific.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, you hear Shawn Michaels' music. You hear Mick Foley's music. And then you hear Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. And then they all come to the ring. They beat the shit out of the League of Nations, and then they drag Wade Barrett in, and Wade Barrett gets the bad of it because he gets a triple. Mm-hmm. He gets the super kick from Shawn Michaels, he gets the Socko for Mankind, and then he gets the Stone Cold Stunner. Mm-hmm. And then keep in mind, this whole time, Stone Cold Steve Austin's calling out for his own beer. I forgot. He crafted his own beer. I forgot.
And he's constantly calling for it throughout the match, but they wouldn't toss it to him until everybody handled their business, and then when everybody was handled,
then the New Day comes out. They try to vibe with the whole 3 guys, and then so HBK's down with it. Mick Foley's down with Big E's little like pelvic thrust, and then Xavier Woods tries to like do his thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it just got kind of weird.
It got weird because I'm like, I don't. The Stone Cold I know wouldn't dance with these cats. So what is he about to do?
Yeah, and he wasn't. And it's funny too because he was receptive to it during the later parts to where you kind of know he was going to do a stunner.
Right.
If he would have actually like was down with it in the very beginning, it would have been cool, and then you wouldn't have kind of expected it because Stone Cold's going to stun somebody. He's going to stun at least a couple of people.
Absolutely.
And then he ends up stunning Xavier Woods.
Yeah. Stuns him, and they're out.
Yes.
And that's it.
And a couple beers, this and that.
He starts taking his beers, and then he gets a little too drunk, then he goes to the audience, and he Stone Colds every single member of the audience. Yeah. Every single, one by one, like, you next, and then he does it.
He did the line.
So we lost about 6 hours.
$20 a stunner. Remember, Mick Foley hands some random guy a beer.
Yeah, he does. He does. And this random guy, he looks like
could have been underage.
He's like 18.
Could have been underage. I'm not going to say much, but who knows? Maybe it was just O'Doul's disguised as because Stone Cold actually has his own beer now.
He does. But it was, seeing Mick Foley didn't do too much. There wasn't a lot of action from Mick Foley. I understand he destroyed his body.
With Mick Foley dressed in the same, it shows that he wasn't actually in any sort of shape besides round.
Right.
Shawn Michaels was in excellent shape for being about 3 years out of the ring.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years out of the ring.
Yeah.
And he was in excellent shape. Stone Cold still looks, he still looks built. I bet you he still weight trains and stuff. It's just his knees that, he can't which debilitate him from performing. Mm-hmm. The next match. Well, hold on. Let me one more thing to say about that last the trio showing up. I think it was well needed because, like I said, we have a lack of people to actually perform a good WrestleMania.
Yeah, apparently because half the roster is like injured, right?
Yes,
like 98% of the roster is injured.
A lot of mid to top tier stars are actually out of action.
And was this one of your surprises for WrestleMania? Or this didn't count as a surprise.
No, this is not even because it was expected that Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold were going to be there. Okay. So I kind of came in knowing that. You knewing.
You knew
wow.
you
knewing.
You pre-knew.
New word of the day, guys.
You're already in the.
Next match we have on the docket is Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Bane versus Batman, as we discussed earlier. There was good spots, great. There was a great and very different use of the weapons. The traditional weapons that we see, the kendo sticks, the chairs, a lot of variety. You have Brock Lesnar doing his traditional suplexes. He does about 4 suplexes, but for this being a street fight, a no-holds-barred street fight, there was less street, but more wrestling.
Yeah, there was.
There
was, definitely.
The only time the street was being used was during the end. Yeah. But you wanted to use, you had some input before I cut you off.
I just appreciate, Dean's contribution. Like, he really sold it.
Yes. He took a lot of bumps.
He took a lot of hits, man. He really, from Brock.
Yes.
Brock/Brawly Lesnar, like
Brawly Lesnar,
he's fucking tearing him apart.
Yes,
and he took those hits. He was taking, like I was watching. He's really taking some of these hits. He's really taking these slams. He's taking the hits from the bamboo, the kendo sticks or whatever. Like it was incredible to see Dean take this much damage and then still try to contribute.
Yeah,
and like handle his own business. He was a sicko. I think Dean is interesting,
Yes.
I don't have much experience with him, but from what I see from him, like, this dude's fucking nuts.
I wasn't that. I wasn't that crazy about him at the beginning, but now what I see, his resiliency and his ability to, his ability on the mics plus his moveset is now impressive to me. Because I was impressed by his moveset just by itself, but it's like he never had a mic to go back on to reassure anybody that he was actually a great top tier star. But now I think so, very much so. But what I didn't see and what I did like are actually one and the same, because I didn't see an F5 early on in the match, and I'm glad I didn't, because Brock Lesnar does that he did that with the Cena match, he did that with the Undertaker match.
It's overused.
It's like, don't pop off an F5 early in the match, because then it's just going to show that Brock Lesnar is going to dominate the whole match. By them actually not doing that was actually great, because now
you believe at one point or another
Dean has a chance. Which is great to me.
Little tiny ass Dean against Brock.
This match went a little over, like probably about 10 to 12 minutes. It was short and sweet. And a lot of people may think it should have went longer, but it's like, it's a street fight that we kind of all knew that it was going to go Brock's way, because WWE execs don't want to diminish what Brock Lesnar is. He is the beast. He is this guy who's gonna suplex people, pin people, take names,
possibly rape them.
Well, yeah,
he's a non-stoppable force.
Yes,
he's probably raped through suplex. But when one of the standouts to me was when Dean pulls out a fucking chainsaw.
Oh yeah. I was getting weirded out. Like, I was like, what is he there's only one thing you do with the chainsaw. You don't hit anybody with the chainsaw that's not
It's just
rotating.
a fatality. I thought it was like, we're finally going to see our first murder on WWE. Yes.
He amputates his limbs! Brock Lesnar's dead!
Brock is dead! Beheads him right on the...
And then JB will be like, I love it! And then Byron Saxton is just quiet because he has nothing to contribute. That guy is you know what? Let me go to the announce team. Let me chime one thing on the announce team. If you have a guy that's experienced as Mauro Ranallo is versus Michael Cole, and Mauro Ranallo has been doing commentary for 20 plus years. Michael Cole has been doing it since the millennium, about 15 to 10 years. I'd give him full time doing that. And I'd rather have Mauro Ranallo do it because I hear him on SmackDown. He knows how to call these matches. He actually knows the moves now.
Right.
Which is impressive.
Right. Because
he's barely been in the mix with SmackDown for a very short amount of time, and now he knows the moves. That's all you need to do as an announcer, is know the moves, be the commentator, and boom. But now, why are you doing a disservice to the fans by giving us this half-ass announcer versus Mauro Ranallo and JBL and Byron Saxton?
Well, what is he lacking to you?
What? Michael Cole?
Yeah.
I'd say a lot. I think, he's worn his welcome. It's just he doesn't have the authoritative voice to actually to call a match now, because now we're spoiled, because we actually have this guy who has actually done pride fighting. He's actually done UFC. He's actually done mixed martial arts commentary. That is the pinnacle of realism and action. So now we're spoiled with this guy on SmackDown, but now we have this other guy on Raw who actually doesn't hold a candle to the guy who actually just came in the mix now.
Right.
So anyway, enough about that. But so Dean Ambrose ends up piling a bunch of tables into the middle of the ring.
Oh yeah.
And then Brock suplexes him once over the table, over the chairs, and I get a little worried because I'm like, wow, like, did he actually try to do this? Did he miss?
It was like
and
8
then he
chairs.
suplexes him into the chairs.
Yeah, like it was a lot of chairs.
Dean
guys.
Ambrose actually got his signature move. He actually got dirty deeds onto Brock Lesnar, but it didn't. You didn't feel the impact because you saw that he barely hit him onto the
barely, like he barely got him.
Brock Lesnar ends this with the F5 onto the chairs. Very quick, very 10 minute to 12-minute match.
Wasn't over the top, straight to the point. Boom. Yeah,
I'd say this is the actual bread and butter of the whole WrestleMania, because it's something you expected to happen. Dean wasn't realistically going to win this.
No.
Because to reiterate, WWE execs do not want their second highest paid wrestler taking
lose.
L's at WrestleMania.
To Dean.
Brock Lesnar makes $5 million a year. Part-time. barely a WrestleMania, a couple follow-ups before the pay-per-view, and that's it. That's easy money. John Cena makes $6 million. He shows up every Raw. Anyway, I just want to tell you that, like, that is how the perspective I wanted to give you guys, because just to show you that they're fully invested into this guy to be a beast and to not lose. If he's going to lose, he's going to lose by disqualification or by not tapping out like he did at SummerSlam versus The Undertaker.
Right.
Okay. So this is where
they've invested too much in Brock.
So, before after I just gave my 2 cents about, what did you think of the match yourself?
I thought the match was phenomenal. It was actually really good. Like I said, I mean, I really appreciated Dean taking these hits.
Yes.
And really just being involved. I think he's a phenomenal performer as well. I mean, there's just a couple of moments where he's like, I mean, he's playing this insane character or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's done a couple of things while we were watching where we're like, man, this dude is completely in character.
Yes.
Pulling out the chairs, the chainsaw, everything just was like, it had me, I actually was very engaged.
Yes.
Like, oh shit, what the hell is he going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, but I did know that Brock was going to win.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that Brock was going to win because you're not going to, like you said, you're not going to invest this much money in Brock and have him losing.
Yes.
Especially at WrestleMania.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. He's going to win this one. But I want to, the build up to the win was very fair and believable.
Yes, exactly.
There was a back and forth. It wasn't a one-sided rape fest. So I thought it was cool. I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Perfect.
So I liked it.
So then during this time, this is when you actually went on this pilgrimage to go to this local establishment to replenish us with delicious hydration, as I must say.
Ales,
yes. So while you were doing that, you actually caught it midway to the WWE Divas Triple Threat match.
Yeah.
Divas Championship Triple Threat match.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte with Ric Flair at ringside. I kind of want to tell you that this was the best opening sequence in any match of WrestleMania. Reverse counters, reverse pins into submissions, and it was just a lot of quick counts. I thought that sequence was done really well, and it's the best because you're simply outnumbered by how many people are in the ring by themselves versus every other match that was a singles match or a tag match. So doing that they win by default because the whole sequence could only be done with 3 people. A lot of spots. We're talking Charlotte taking a moonsault outside of.
Oh my! I was there
ring.
for that. Okay, so I did come in a bit late, but I feel like I didn't miss too much.
You didn't. You actually came during the right time.
It was one of the best Diva matches I've ever seen.
Yes.
Seriously.
And remember what I told you is that 5 years ago, none of the Divas on this roster are doing these spots that
They wouldn't
Charlotte
even try
is
a
doing.
fucking moonsault.
No, onto the outside of the ring, onto the outside. And then let's talk about that spot that Sasha Banks did, the suicide dive.
Oh my god.
She did it over the rope, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so she does it over the rope onto Charlotte.
Yes.
And she's in mid flip. She barely gets caught by the
last second
by the midsection of Charlotte. So it kind of looks like she falls into this power bomb, but then Charlotte rolls back out to make it look like she didn't actually get it to.
But she could have seriously injured herself.
Sasha Banks could have been seriously hurt.
Yeah. When I saw it, yes,
yes.
It worked out in the end, but it was like, man, that was freaking risky, man.
And it's funny too because for a couple of moments, you actually thought that Becky Lynch was actually going to go out with the W, but it was back and forth. It was classic ring psychology because you're the momentum swaying a lot of ways, especially in a triple threat match. And what a typical triple threat match is like 2 people face each other while 1 person's out. But this actually had the fewest breaks in between I've seen in a long time.
There was not a moment where there was a break in the action.
Yes.
It was constantly taking place. Everything was going on.
Yeah.
I have my money on Sasha Black Girl. What's her name?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks.
Hillary Banks.
Hillary Banks.
She looks like
Hillary. the one Banks sister nobody knows about.
Exactly.
And I have my money on, no pun intended, my money on Banks. And I thought she was going to take it.
Yeah.
And because it just seemed like everything was moving in her direction because she had the momentum of the match.
Yes.
And then we get this disappointment, or I personally get my own disappointment. What took place following
Yeah, Ric Flair interferes. Sasha Banks coming back in to help Becky Lynch, or not even to help Becky Lynch, but to actually break the sequence of the submission between Becky and Charlotte. And Ric Flair intervenes, of course. But now you have this situation where now we're kind of overdue on Sasha Banks actually winning this. So it's going to take another pay-per-view for Sasha Banks to win this, because you're only going to see her win this at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If you don't win it at WrestleMania, you're going to win it at a different pay-per-view. If not, your push is done because you fucked up. You fucked up in the back office. That's just realistic.
Yeah.
Overall, this match is probably
it was
one
amazing.
of the better matches of WrestleMania.
It was actually probably top 3 in WrestleMania, no joke.
Yeah.
This WrestleMania, not overall.
And as of right now, there's not a lot of women's matches I'm remembering off the top that can actually hold a candle to what we had here, because to actually orchestrate a great triple threat match involves what they actually did.
It was the best of the best.
Yes.
They went all out on this one.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah, I did too as well. So after this, you actually had this match, Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker. There's a lot riding on this match. Shane McMahon, if he wins, kind of controls Monday Night Raw,
The universe.
A lot of people were saying is that Shane McMahon's going to probably just control Monday Night Raw because of an understatement done by Vince McMahon, where he kind of didn't agree. He agreed that he was going to have a match with The Undertaker, but he didn't say if he won or lost. He was going to take control. He just said if you had a match with The Undertaker, boom, that's it. So now we'll have to wait till Monday.
Right.
But since this is done on Sunday, I'm not going to wait. The intro to the match was pretty cool. Shane McMahon comes out with his 3 kids. I kind of thought it was cheesy, but his 3 kids need that moment where they're like, look, this is, me at WrestleMania. They'll probably won't do it again until one of those little McMahons actually face one of the other McMahons in a cage match later on in life.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was really adorable. I mean, I see what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Kind of, having this emotional, I'm a regular man type of moment. Bringing the kids down, all right, bringing them to the ring and then passing them off to people that he didn't know.
Pack the grandma,
just selling each child on the spot. I thought it was great. I thought it was really personal and cute. I thought it was nice.
The Undertaker's intro is now worn its welcome to me, because now it's the same thing. It's a bunch of smoke on the very bottom. It's the gong, and it's him walking out for like 5 minutes. The slowest walk I've ever seen.
Slowest walk.
That needs to change. I wanted to see druids, like hold the torches and shit. Like I want to see Ministry Undertaker's intro to that. Like spice it up. That's all I ask.
Take it to the next level if you're going to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's getting redundant now because his entrance is always granted every WrestleMania.
Let's see some sacrifices or something. Let's get
sacrifices a small goat. This goat represents.
Let's eat some bat heads or something, man. Bring Ozzy out.
See, how are you not in WWE creative? That is excellent. That is an excellent observation, Andre. Okay, so the match actually was pretty impressive. Shane McMahon actually displays his MMA style moveset, gets Undertaker in a triangle choke. You see a bunch of strikes. Mm-hmm. You see Undertaker strike back too. But then everything goes crazy when, after all this riffraff, Shane McMahon actually exposes the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Undertaker spears him through that panel section of the Hell in the Cell, and now they're outside. And remember what I told you is that something's going to happen on one of these
Something's going to go down
tables.
because it was thoroughly set up. Even for myself as a casual watcher, I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with this. I believe that somebody's going to end up at the top of the cage and they're coming down.
Yes.
For sure. And without a doubt, after, quite a bit of back and forth, they end up bringing, hold on. They bring it to the audience, have a little more combat towards the audience, and then they bring it down, slam them.
Oh, yeah, because Undertaker, what happened out of that little square panel is that Undertaker actually dodged an attack from Shane McMahon and actually crashed onto one of the other announce tables.
No, actually it was the other way around, I believe. It was, the Undertaker was about to do whatever slam. I don't know wrestling. Fuck.
Yeah, it's fine.
Whatever slam he was going to do to him, and Shane McMahon ends up reversing it and bringing them both down.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
I remember Michael Cole saying that he was actually sacrificing his body.
Yeah, and then if you watch the slow-mo replay, he's whispering in his ear, "I got you, bitch," as he's taking him down. And then they go down. And I do remember, like, just being kind of in awe, like, wow, these guys are going all out. This is going to be pretty intense.
It went up to maximum when
Yeah.
they actually hit the outside of the ring.
Yeah, I mean, one note that I felt was kind of off about the entire match was just The Undertaker is old. He's sluggish, and it's hard to watch him wrestle because I just see an old, worn-out man.
Yep,
With
a lot of hair dye.
With a lot of hair dye and plugs, maybe. I don't know. The receding hairline is so distracting. I'm like, it's not the dead man. It's an aging man. He's a regular person.
His shirt was so slung down that it looked like this fool actually took it from his chick from the baby fat store. Because all that was covered are his nipples.
Only the nips.
Yeah. It was bad. It was distracting.
It was distracting, but overall, I guess, from an outsider's perspective, I just saw an aged Undertaker. I haven't been in the game for a while. I come back and I just see this old ass Undertaker still trying to remain relevant.
Who actually might be a dead man.
Who might actually he's a marionette of Vince McMahon. But I didn't enjoy it.
Shane McMahon ended up doing. I forgot to mention this as well. Shane McMahon ended up doing the coast to coast from turnbuckle to turnbuckle leg drop.
Yeah.
He didn't get both feet on that. He actually got one of the legs on there. Still, nonetheless, to see that spot done after 6 years, because he's actually noted for doing that, was actually quite impressive.
I think you missed the trash can spot too.
That was what I was talking about. He went coast to coast. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know these terms.
It's all right. So then now Undertaker's on the announce table on the outside. Shane McMahon has him where he wants him. Shane McMahon climbs up all the way to the cage.
All the way to the top of the cage.
And what do we think is actually going to happen? An elbow drop on Undertaker.
Elbow drop, Undertaker explodes, and he's officially the dead man for real.
He actually sinks down.
He sinks down through the floor.
Demons take him. Like Kane takes him. Let's just go back to Attitude Era. Kane
shows up and just takes the remains of Undertaker's boot because there's nothing left.
And then the ghost of Paul Bearer. The Ghost of Sparta. Kratos versus The Undertaker versus Kane at WrestleMania 33. Jesus Christ on the cross. What a good match.
I just thought that, the connection, he would have made a connection and Undertaker would have taken his loss.
Undertaker rolls out.
He rolls out and
Shane takes this bad bump on this announce table, which looks like it was padded by an air mattress of some sort.
Because you see it deflate.
After the slam, you see the whole thing deflate after. So it was only made to take a once over. My overall perspective on the match, I thought Shane was actually going to win it because, I had my obligations of thinking that we're actually going to deal with a brand split come Monday. Maybe we still will see that. Who knows? Because
how did the Undertaker take the W?
He ended up giving him a tombstone pile driver.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because Shane McMahon was like, "Come,
that's something to note. Shane McMahon,
resilient.
Yeah, very resilient. Still talking shit after getting annihilated.
Yeah,
thoroughly getting his ass beat. He's still talking shit like, "Bring it on."
Yeah,
and then he gets tombstoned, and that was it. That was the end of the match.
Oh, very good match.
And then he gets carried out on a stretcher.
Yeah.
But still maintains the strength to thumbs up the crowd.
Yeah, for Michael Cole to try to sell it like he actually got a neck injury, don't say he got a neck injury and then Shane McMahon throws a thumbs up, because if he really got a neck injury, I mean, his nervous system would have been shot.
And don't have the paramedic crew move slower than molasses to take him out of there.
Yes.
And then as they finally get him on the cart to take him out, they're driving like half a mile per hour.
Super slow because he wants to be like, oh, I'm all right.
No, literally, as they were driving up, they stopped, went in reverse, and did a once around the ring so he could thumb up everybody, and then he went back up. Like, seriously.
So that's what I missed.
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, my God. I was about to say, go through the crowd. Beep, 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 beep. Shane McMahon coming through. He wants to thumb it up, you guys.
He high-fived every single person in the crowd, man.
All right.
But it was just, I don't know, I wasn't sold on the fact that he was injured.
Me neither. Yeah, you don't thumbs up anybody doing that. If Shane McMahon wanted to really sell that he got really jacked up,
he should have been foaming at the mouth.
He would have not have given a thumbs up, and but the thing is that if he didn't, he wouldn't be showing up Monday all healthy and shit. You know what I mean? So because they got work tomorrow,
right?
Those guys got work tomorrow. The next thing we had was the Memorial Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. a bunch of jobbers and mid-carders come out. And then you have 4 actually, come out, which is actually one of my other surprises. Shaq comes out to actually do a WrestleMania.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes. Shaq, Mark Henry, Kane, and Big Show actually all have their own Titantron segments.
Big Show?
Yeah.
You mean,
The Big Show did.
Oh, you did? But
yeah,
I mean,
because it was the Big Show, Kane, Mark Henry, and
DDP.
Oh yeah, DDP as well. 5. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That was one of the surprises. I'll combine Shaq and DDP actually as
one entity.
Yeah, and this match, we all knew who was going to win it. It was 1 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
You do not, if you're going to try to sell someone winning, don't have them have a promo sequence. But Baron Corbin ended up winning. The random ass Baron Corbin from NXT. So what? So this means that what? Baron Corbin from NXT, not WWE. He hasn't been promoted to the main roster yet. Baron Corbin from NXT, who only has one move and who only does squash matches. And if Baron Corbin or anybody who is pro Baron Corbin hear me out. This guy is a one-trick pony. He has a stupid-ass finisher that actually takes the momentum of the opposing person to finish him. It's complete bullshit to me. This guy does not belong in a wrestling ring.
Damn.
Straight up. This guy sucks completely.
And he won in a very simplistic, shitty way.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the best thing that is actually the best thing that I saw, because out of the 5 people you thought was going to win, they actually cut an actual Titantron for them.
They did.
Baron Corbin snuck in.
Yeah, they did. And I guess, if we want to talk about the match as a whole, sloppy, ugly.
Yeah.
It was not entertaining by any means.
For pro wrestlers to be fazed by what Shaq does, actually clearing people out. Shaq hasn't been... Shaq has probably ate more hamburgers than he's dribbled basketballs since he's retired. For you to tell me to believe that this guy is actually clearing pro wrestlers out, he did this every day.
Like 5 or 6 of them.
Yes.
All coming at him at once. He completely eradicates
American Ninjas their ass.
They all fly away, and then it's him and the Big Show having the face-to-face altercation. Then they both go for the chokes.
Yeah.
And then every other wrestler comes in and just basically tosses them out like it's nothing. I thought that was just like, you played me.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be Mark Henry's send-off, since it might have been his last WrestleMania.
Mark Henry was out of the match for half of the fucking fight.
Yeah, and then he comes in at the right moment.
He magically appears.
Yeah. So, what I wanted to tell you is that Baron Corbin shouldn't have won this, because now there's a conflict of interest. Does he stay at NXT, or does he get promoted up now because he's won the Andre Memorial Battle Royal?
Well,
the Giant Fuck, this is a long name. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Andre the Giant Memorial
Battle Royal.
The Giant Memorial.
Royal. with that one girl
with
singing
cheese. Royale with cheese.
Ooh, yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, when it came to this match, he might have to get promoted. Based on how the crowd responded, everybody was happy that he won.
It was pretty weird. I don't, because he actually played professionally for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Who gives a faggot?
Well, he actually did it, but I don't know. Like, I'm not phased on Baron Corbin, because if I ever showed you one of the matches, like this guy, picture this guy doing squash matches. I'm talking like Goldberg type of squash matches where he actually like pummels the jobber and ends up winning after a stupid signature move. The match lasts longer than less than 3 minutes. Okay. He did that for 3 months, and then his push got stopped. And then his push is getting resumed again. But he ended up losing at NXT TakeOver the night before to Austin Aries, who debuted. Long story short, this guy isn't... It's very inconsistent what this guy is.
Right.
So,
I'm based on his plotline, right?
Yes, exactly. Based on his whole sequence that he's going through right now.
But I feel like WWE goes by crowd, man. If the crowd loves him, then they're going to push him.
Well, if that's the case, then there's a lot of people that should be in, and it's not. Okay, so now let's go to this other thing that we have to actually go into very big detail, because... Very big detail, but it's a very small percentage of this whole WrestleMania.
Okay.
This next segment, The Rock comes out. The Rock comes out. His music hits. Everyone goes nuts because they know The Rock's going to be there. The Rock tells everyone, "Wait 1 second."
Yeah, he does all this bullshit. Hey, I'm The Rock. I'm here. Everybody, cheer for me for a little bit. Wait 1 second, and then
comes out with a flamethrower. like I told you before this whole thing started, The Rock does not need props. The Rock makes gold out of what he does on the mic, and that's free.
Right.
I bet you that blowtorch cost about $100 plus of gas and kerosene or whatever they used. The Rock doesn't need props.
He doesn't.
He literally took that flamethrower and lit Rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He lit the letters of his name.
Yes.
And the letters of his name caught flame, and he has a giant flaming Rock logo behind him now. And then he comes out. But this is what we've lost about 7 minutes.
Yeah, this is about the 5 to 7 minute mark.
Let's go backwards though. We also had the cowboy cheerleaders, right?
Oh yeah, so the cowboy cheerleaders do the thing, but
cowboy cheerleaders do the things, then they line up for the Rock.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
and then so after the Rock sets half of the crowd on fire, he starts coming down the lane, and then he stops at one, cowboy cowgirl. He flexes at her real quick. Then he, rock bottoms her. Then he walks down.
Slaps her.
He slaps her real quick and then throws money at her. And then, he comes to the ring and the crowd has lost their mind at this point. It doesn't matter what The Rock does.
With the boo in it. He can literally, this is what The Rock can do. The Rock can be like, oh yeah, the blah, 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 the blah, blah, da, da. He can literally say nothing. And the crowd is going to be into it because The Rock is The Rock. This guy, anything he says, The Rock can be like, The Rock is the Nazi stomping, this a bopping, cherry popping. The Rock can
burn
say
the Jews.
Yeah, he could say whatever he wants, and this guy's gold. Which goes back to what I'm saying. He doesn't need props.
He doesn't.
And then so what ends up happening? Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family end up coming to the ring. Mm-hmm. Bray Wyatt cuts this crazy promo that like goes toe to toe with The Rock is saying right now.
Talks mad shit.
Yeah, The Rock ends up going over to, promoting the shit out of him. The Rock, seen you since day one.
I've been watching you since you've came to WWE.
You have charisma.
You have charisma, and you have amazing mic skills, and I think you're a dope rapper. And he just went on this long list of things that he thought, he was definitely hyping him.
Yes.
To a new level, really bringing him to the top. And it was it was abundantly obvious to me. Oh man, okay, I see that they want to make this guy. Yeah, they want to make this guy the next dude. I feel like he might be the next Undertaker-like figure.
Yeah, because the thing the Undertaker misses, and this is no diss on the Undertaker, because the Undertaker didn't need mic skills.
Right.
When he went as the American Badass, he did talk a lot more when he did the motorcycle Limp Bizkit shit.
Right.
But Undertaker does not need to say anything. He is the dead man. He does not need to say anything. But now, with Bray Wyatt, you have all the characteristics of the dead man, but now you have this guy who can talk and sell you into believing that this guy is actually a cult leader.
Yeah.
That is what WWE's been missing, because you need that dark turn now.
And he's insane.
Yes.
Or at least you feel that this person
is totally engulfed, indebted to what he is saying.
Yes.
And that, to me, is a good promo.
Yeah, absolutely. And he talks fantastic shit.
Yeah, his little accent that he gives is just this guy's completely from the South.
Yeah.
Is he's always coming into the WWE wrestling dudes, but by the meantime actually having this whole cult thing. But anyway.
Yeah.
So The Rock ends up wrestling
Barack.
Not Bray Wyatt, but he actually wrestles random Eric Rowan. But this is because Bray Wyatt has a little bit of back problem right now. That's why he couldn't wrestle.
A little bit of a back problem. It's an insignificant back problem.
Well, to the point where he couldn't wrestle him.
Yeah, okay.
But, so The Rock...
But he talks all this shit just so The Rock fights
someone
his brother.
Else. Yeah, it's for The Rock to actually wrestle... this was a spur of the moment. I bet you the insurance company doesn't know that he actually did this, because he's not insured to actually do a match unless he talked to the insurance company and told them, look, I'm going to
suck my dick. I'm going to be at WrestleMania. I'm
just going to do rock bottom. I'm going to pin this guy and that's it. The insurance company's probably sold on that.
They're fine with rock bottoms. They don't. Yeah. They don't mind those.
The 6-second match, the shortest match in WrestleMania history, they actually brought attention to that because for some reason, I guess you want The Rock to hold another record. But,
just for no reason.
Yeah, but the thing is
as soon as the match starts, rock bottom, it's over pinning.
The Rock is going to be nothing but the Hulk Hogan of the next 10 years, because he's 44, 45 years old now.
Right.
And now for another 5 years, he can actually put on good matches, because he's actually in pretty good shape. I don't know whether it's his genetics,
performance enhancement.
I don't know if there's something that enhances his performance.
Robotronic limbs.
He might be Jax.
He might be Jax from.
He might actually be Heavy Duty from G.I. Joe. Okay, so then John Cena comes out because he's clearly outnumbered at one point.
Absolutely, yes, and that to me just kind of ruined the moment for me.
Yeah, my surprise was done with The Rock, not with John Cena.
Yeah. Well, for me, when John Cena came out, I was like, all right, I don't care anymore. Like, I really lost interest in what was happening because it was just like, okay, you're just throwing candy at us now.
Yeah,
you're throwing candy at the
kids.
Because
now this moment was strictly between Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. I'll count them as the little group in the faction, but them and The Rock. This is like a little kid coming down, like, oh, well, look at what I can do. Look what I can do. That's what I got out of it.
Definitely.
So John Cena does his thing, does the 5-knuckle shuffle, followed by the attitude adjustment. Rock does the rock bottom, and then they both sell each other by holding each other's hands and marrying themselves out of the ring.
Which, by the way, took a long. If I can just note real quick, there were a lot of moments where they were just prolonging things. It felt like they were panning out for time because they didn't have enough. I guess matches maybe.
Exactly.
But it was really frustrating. I mean, when Stone Cold and all them came out, that was like an extra 10 minutes after the match was over that they were standing around drinking beers.
Yeah, because that could have been cut a little short.
But there were a lot of moments like that where they're just holding the event. Yes, just taking their precious time. So
doing the attendance. Well, the attendance count's always been a WrestleMania thing, but it's like, jeez, man, why do you brought the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders for no reason? They have no reason to be there. It is not even the season for football. The season for football starts in like fall.
They were all out of practice.
I know, yeah. But all right, let's go down to the nitty gritty now. Let's go to this Triple H versus Roman Reigns match. And Triple H, his opening segment starts with Stephanie McMahon behind this little Skeletor mask.
Oh my god! It was a to me, it was like a Shao Kahn mask.
Yeah, cutting this authoritative. You're part of the system move. You're just a zombie in the part of the movement type of speech. And with that, I'm just already disconnected.
Right. And it's outrageously blatant. I mean, I see a lot of symbolism in WWE, but in this case, it was just like blatant. Yeah. You are all slaves.
Yeah,
you belong to us, and you are about to witness your God. Prepare for your God. Here is Triple H. Yes. And that's how the introduction went down.
Triple H comes out, and I'm already done on what Triple H is a heavyweight champion. I already knew he was. Well, I already had him predicted as winning the Royal Rumble because they had no other option.
Right.
Now you have Roman Reigns come out. And the first thing you hear is a slew, and I'm sorry to make this rhyme, but a slew of boos. A slew of boos. Everyone is booing this man because they know he's going to win it.
Right.
This was what they didn't want to do last WrestleMania.
Right.
Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, they don't want him to win it. So now they called an audible and have Seth Rollins cash in.
Well, what is the issue here with Roman Reigns?
He is not over with the audience. Okay. No one believes this man
should be in the position that he's in.
Exactly, because
they're trying to make him another John Cena, and he just honestly doesn't have.
Vince McMahon is fully invested into making Roman Reigns the new babyface of the company. You have John Cena, which was 38 years old. Mm-hmm. Now he has to stop doing all these crazy spots to actually last a lot longer because realistically, John Cena has about 3 years left of full-time activity. Okay. I think maybe 3 to 2 years because it's time to hang him up. Like he probably has
hang him up literally. Like he'll have him hanging.
He's going to do the Rock tour after a couple of years, but he doesn't need to do anything else. He's already accomplished what he already has 15 world championships.
What more does the guy need?
They want him to break Ric Flair's record just because it's like Ric Flair was a WCW guy, and they always shit on those guys.
Oh come on!
Slew of boos from that, and then along with that, beforehand you had that weird Stephanie monologue. But it's like this match was so predictable that we didn't even need to watch this.
Honestly, yeah, that's something I could definitely note. It was so underwhelming. I caught myself like going to Snapchat, going to Instagram, and doing something else because I'm like, I don't watch wrestling, guys. I don't watch wrestling, and I knew everything that was going to happen. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
For this to be a a title match at WrestleMania.
The main event.
The main event at WrestleMania.
Which the Undertaker Shane McMahon event, I mean the match should have been the main event, but
I was watching
that's just my opinion.
I was watching last year's WrestleMania while watching this because I was so bored. Like, I don't know, there was just
he had to ask me for my access codes to the WWE network. Just he went out of his way. No, but it's like this is something that was gonna be. This is something that was gonna happen already. Now he's already a 3-time champ,
right?
So everyone's gonna build up these 3 times he's won the championship, but they're not gonna count the 2 times. The 1 time he actually won it on against Sheamus on Monday Night Raw, and the other time he won it against Sheamus. I believe it was at Fastlane. Yeah, because then Triple H. Oh no, not at Fastlane. Before that, he won it before the Royal Rumble, which was, I think it was Survivor Series. Anyway, but beyond that, it's like he's already a 3-time champ. But these other 2 times really don't count. But because the only time that you're really going to see him actually win it was WrestleMania. Because this is what happened. So at Survivor Series, he actually wins the World Heavyweight title. Because they had a tournament to see who was going to win it. But then Sheamus actually had Money in the Bank.
Oh, shit.
Sheamus cashes in right after because there's confetti drawn and everything. Triple H offers to shake his hand, and then Roman is like, "No, I'm not gonna shake your hand." So Sheamus comes in, finishes him off, wins the title. So then Monday Night Raw comes a couple weeks around, and Vince McMahon gets involved, and then Roman Reigns wins again. So this is the 3rd time he's won the championship already in a matter of the fall of 2015 to now the spring of 2016.
Now, for a title match, main event, this was slow.
I didn't feel drawn to it at all.
No,
either.
this was very slow. And if if anybody was paying attention to the audience, even the audience themselves were booing and tuning out. Like, nobody was interested in this main event, and it was very evident.
Yeah.
And I was just like catching myself. Like, I am not interested. I don't care right now.
Yep.
Compared to everything I saw before, the Divas match was far more interesting than what I was seeing in the main event.
Yes, exactly.
So I couldn't connect what was going down. And then, Roman Reigns wins.
Yes,
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and then a slew of boos from the pews.
Yes.
And then that was it.
Yeah, it's not a good sign when your showcase of the Immortals, your granddaddy of them all, your big pay-per-view moneymaker of the year ends with the babyface going over the heel and you get boos. That is not traditional storylines in WWE show you otherwise because it's worked in several other cases. So hopefully creative sees that it's not working and they have to change it up. I miss
Instead
Seth
of doing this
now.
whole
I miss Seth
fuck
Rollins
you
now.
guys and just enjoy Roman Reigns. Because that's what it feels like.
We're
Fuck
being
you guys.
force-fed.
Yeah, just take Roman Reigns and stop being assholes about it.
You know what? This is one I liked last year's WrestleMania way more than
I
this
really
one.
enjoyed last year's WrestleMania. Definitely.
Hopefully, let's look at it like this.
No.
The WrestleMania of this year was diminished by roster injuries, retirements from Daniel Bryan. Let's hope next year's is actually a lot better. They don't have the bar is set, check this out. The bar's been set very low now because now you have this thing to top, which is not that hard.
It's not.
So let's just hope for the best. Let's actually hope the next pay-per-view will be better than this.
So if what were your 3 surprises though? Like if you want to go through them again, and why did you need them?
My 3 surprises was the show up of. Well, actually, one of the surprises was actually the League of Nations winning over the New Day. I didn't suspect that.
Right.
And then another one was Diamond Dallas Page showing up, and then The Rock actually showing up, actually doing a match.
To do a match, a 6-second match.
So I got my 3 surprises.
Okay.
But now this doesn't. Now it has a lot to do now with the right guys not winning. AJ Styles should have went over Chris Jericho, but then
wow, yeah,
all the smarks are going to be like, well, it was built that AJ was going to win, so hopefully, they're going to be like, Y2J should have just, had another win at WrestleMania anyway. People are going to say that.
Assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be burned at the stake.
Yeah, but so now we have to wait for another year for AJ Styles to at least win something at WrestleMania. Now we have to wait another year. They stinged his ass.
Yeah, I feel like I got
Like
played,
last
man.
year.
I feel like I got played.
Yeah.
I got played.
Imagine you paying $60 for this?
No.
Yes, exactly. No. That's why they were pushing it for it to be like subscribe to the network so you don't have to pay this shit.
Yeah, I would have punched my service provider. All night.
I want to go off in a closing note, my final thought. WWE, let the figures of this WrestleMania event show you what you need to improve on. Let your higher tier stars work a lighter schedule so they can actually show up for the events that matter. And that's it. I want to keep it short and
very
simple.
concise final thought.
Andre, what do you have from the perspective of the person outside looking in? I would love to hear your final thoughts on this, so that way we can provide a closing.
My initial thought: who the fuck are these people? That was the initial thought. But I mean, as for final thought, I really felt like due to I guess restraints, not having all the wrestlers that you needed available in your arsenal. I just felt like this was very underwhelming. And there were a lot of moments where they were throwing candy at the kids. Yep. Meaning like they were just pulling out wrestlers from the past to feed your nostalgia.
Yeah,
and to shut you up. Yeah, exactly. And there were just a lot of moments where it was like, this isn't exactly impressive. Like, okay, yeah, you're going to bring out Stone Cold.
I saw more retired stars than I actually saw. I saw more world championships from retired stars than I'd actually seen from actual active stars.
But with individual move finishes. Like, there was nothing impressive. It was just like, oh, we're going to do our finisher, and then we're going to leave.
Yeah.
Rock shows up, does a finisher, and he leaves. John Cena does a finisher, and he leaves.
Yeah.
So, I there was a lot of that going on, and I didn't enjoy it. And as an outsider looking in, I felt like, wow, WWE has really slipped this year. I haven't watched enough to know what the progress has been up to this point. But for this to be fucking WrestleMania, I'm like, are you willing to really allow yourselves to create something this disappointing and be aware of it? Yeah. And I guess I just have to say last year was so much more impressive that it truly affected.
And it left on a better high
Left on an amazing
because
note.
You're left with this, what the hell, Seth Rollins just walked in, cashed in, and you stole the title
you leave
from
confused.
two people.
Exactly.
Yes. Beautiful.
And just, one final note, Undertaker needs to stop. Like, seriously, it's really hard to watch him because it's like truly, truly watching a man way beyond his prime trying to continue his legacy, and he just needs to let it go and move forward.
Trying to live up to this reputation of being this guy who's
this intimidating, ghostly figure where it's like, dude, your hair is falling out, and I see it straight up. So I didn't enjoy that, but one of the greatest Divas matches, I believe, that's been recorded in WWE history. That's a very highly bold statement.
Agree.
But from what I saw, I was like, these bitches are killing it.
Yeah.
That was very offensive, but I mean it. But other than that, final thoughts. Let's just be straightforward. Very, very underwhelming. Yeah. Last year was better.
Okay. Just to close out this pay-per-review podcast, this synopsis on WrestleMania 32 has been brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers. Buy, sell, and trade your retro games and next-gen consoles. That includes Xbox One and PlayStation 4. You could come into contact with Game Swappers at GAMESWAPPERS on Instagram. Once again, that's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers. Buy, sell, and trade. Andre, you want to do here's your floor for shameless promotion?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
And then do me a favor, I want to hear you close out the show.
Oh, cool. All right. So if you guys are interested, I am a hip-hop technique creative writing instructor. I currently have over 1,000 plus students across the world, over 120 different countries. And so far, so good. It's been going well. If you guys are interested in the intricacies of hip-hop writing, or if you're just interested in hip-hop writing itself, if you're interested in developing your own hip-hop writing skills, feel free to contact me at Punzy Speaks at Twitter, Punzy Speaks at Facebook, and Punzy Speaks on Instagram. That's PUNSYSPEAKS. If you guys are interested, just talk to me, and I'll be glad to share some information with you. My classes are $50 a pop, but if you contact me, I'll make it way less, far less than you can expect. So feel free to hit me up and contact me. Other than that, thank you guys for coming out. This was my first time being on pay-per-review. I thought it was super fun. As I mentioned before, I'm not a really huge wrestling fan, but I like to engage in wrestling events. But thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care.